Well, good morning, Lauren. So far, we do know, like you said, a firefighter has been injured in this house fire on Quinnipiac Avenue. This is in North Haven. Now, and we will, of course, be getting that out to you. Again, we will be speaking with the chief soon to get more information. Live in North Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
Hey, Brooke, thank you so much. A pretty significant scene there, so we will continue to check in with Brooke throughout the morning with any updates. Brooke, thank you.
Brooke Griffin with what we know so far this morning. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning. We are still working to find out more information on this fire. Again, this is on Quinnipiac Avenue here in North Haven, right near the dentist office and the car wash, if you're familiar with the area, about that condition of the firefighter that was injured, as well as trying to figure out how many people were displaced, if there's a cause of this fire. They say that unfortunately this did happen, just a couple of hours after Christmas. They did try to fight it as quickly as possible, but we cannot see the extent of the damage of this fire. It must be in the back of the house in an area that we are not able to see. It does look like it didn't spread to the front of the house. They cut the power to that house only, so if you do live in this area, that's not something you have to worry about this morning, especially with it being this cold. But as soon as we can get more information from the fire chief here on scene in North Haven, we will get that out to you. Live in North Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
Alrighty, thank you, Brooke. We'll check back in with you later on this morning.
Well, good morning. I was just able to speak with one of the North Haven fire chiefs a few minutes ago, and he says, unfortunately, one of their North Haven firefighters was very seriously injured fighting this fire this morning. He says that firefighter has been sent to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. He couldn't elaborate on how exactly that firefighter got injured or what the injuries may be, but he said that they will update us as soon as they can. Now, they said also 13 people have been displaced due to this fire, are displaced. He wasn't sure exactly how many units that is, but now those 13 people are being assisted by the Red Cross this morning. They are trying to help them make sure they have the resources to stay warm, maybe have some food and a place to stay while they recover from what happened this morning. Now, the state police fire marshal is also here as well. The fire chief tells me that is just proper typical procedure whenever it comes to a very large house fire like this one. They do bring in the state police investigators just to make sure they have all of their bases covered as well. Now, he says that they are working on getting this scene cleared. It is out, of course, at this time, but it's something that they say is going to take a very long time since there was a firefighter injury and so many units were impacted. As soon as I get more updates from that chief, we will be able to get those out to you. Live in North Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
Update as we speak. Let's check in with her.
Well, I did just speak with the North Haven fire chief a few minutes ago. He says, unfortunately, he can confirm that firefighter that was taken to the hospital with serious injuries has died from those injuries. Now, he cannot say exactly what happened or how that firefighter was injured, but he did tell us that the firefighter was outside of the house whenever he sustained those injuries. He said he really couldn't get into any sort of detail at this time. He is not releasing the name of that firefighter either. He says the family has been notified, but he wants to make sure that all of the North Haven firefighters are not waking up to the name of that news this morning. He says he wants to be able to tell them himself, so they will be able to tell us that name in a couple of hours. But what he would say is that firefighter has been with the department for more than 2 decades. He says that everybody knew very, very well, and they are really grieving and hurting this morning. He said, along with the loss of that firefighter, unfortunately, it was a loss of a home as well. 13 people have been displaced, which is almost everybody in this apartment building here. He says all of the units have some sort of damage from this fire. He says it was very extensive. They were very aggressive with their firefighting. But he says all in all, the day after Christmas, this is extremely sad for this community and for this fire department, because it's something that they will have to grieve and something that is very hard just a few hours after spending so much time with each other yesterday. Live in North Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
Alrighty, thank you, Brooke. Brooke Griffin getting an update. She's live at the scene this morning. Good morning, Brooke.
Well, good morning. I did just speak with the North Haven Fire Chief, and he says, unfortunately, a 22-year veteran of the North Haven Fire Department has been killed while fighting a fire this morning. Now, let's actually take a look. He says that this man who died was, again, a 22-year veteran of this fire department. He says he was everybody's friend and everybody loved to work with him, and he is leaving behind a wife just the day after Christmas. Live in North Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
Alrighty, thank you, Brooke. We'll check back in with you later. What else we have learned this morning? Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning. The North Haven Fire Chief tells us that a 22-year veteran of the North Haven Fire Department died in a fire this morning. They say that he was out working this fire on Quinnipiac Avenue whenever he was injured while fighting it. They say he died from those injuries. They say around extensive damage throughout the entirety of that three-story house. They say 13 people have unfortunately been displaced, and the Red Cross is helping them out this morning with new living arrangements and a place to stay warm and get something warm to eat. They say Connecticut State Police has taken over the investigation, both due to the severity of that fire and the fact that one of their own died. He died in the line of duty this morning. They say they will update with a picture and with that name later this morning. Live in North Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
Alrighty, thank you, Brooke. We'll check back in with you later.
The North Haven Fire Chief tells us a 22-year veteran of the North Haven Fire Department died while fighting a fire here on Quinnipiac Avenue early this morning. And 13 people have been displaced due to the extensive damage of that fire. They say there is some sort of water, fire, or smoke damage within all 3 floors and all 4 units inside. They say Connecticut State Police are taking over this investigation, both due to the fact that a North Haven firefighter died during that firefighting, and they say they are also taking over the investigation just due to how large that fire was. In North Haven, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.